Good day everyone, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday the 27th of June 2020, and it's the weekly analysis for the Euro, Cable and the Aussie dollar for the first week of July. And for all these three majors, they've been oscillating and but then with a bearish close for the week in a risk-off market. And let's take a look at the euro on the daily time frame, and start off the week bouncing off this previous upper trend line of the bullish channel, and then fell the last 3 days and consolidated in a doji on the Friday. Now it's still possible that could still have bearish momentum and fall lower for next week. So we'll see how it reacts to this trend line. If it does take a bounce, then there could be resistance gain at a 113. Right now it's sitting just above 112. It's just at the 112 here. Alright, so along with this upper channel trend line, if it does break the 113, then it could be forming a new bullish channel. But then if it does break lower, then it could be forming a possible bearish channel here. Right, so we'll see how that forms next week. So it's at a critical area at the 112. There are no major news next week for the euro and even for the cable. So the only major news is coming from the US, with the US non-farm payroll report not on Friday this week because of their 4th of July weekend holiday starting Friday, so it's going to be released on Thursday instead. And prior to that, on Tuesday night, there's the Fed Chair Powell's testimony. That's going to be on Tuesday night, which is Singapore time around midnight or 12:30. All right, then if we take a shorter term look at the Fibonacci from these levels here, so the euro, after the swing move up, it has pulled back into the 38.2 Fib retracement level, and if it does pull back lower, then the 50% Fib retracement is at 111, around 111.50 area. But if it does extend further lower, then there's a key support at the 111 along with the rising 55 EMA. But prior to that, in between, there's this swing high that it needs to negotiate as well. Now, sorry, let's start from this swing low here. And now we see a confluence here with the 50% retracement level right at the 111. So it did retrace to the 38 fib already, bounce, and then trying to retrace lower. So this scenario is possible if it's continues in this bearish channel now that could be forming. So let's add the bearish channel instead. And for now, let's extend this as well. So let's see how it goes next week, and let's remove this level here as well. This is going to be up here with intermediate resistance. This is still a key resistance zone up here. So it should not break above this area, this intermediate resistance zone, and then if it falls, there could be a retest of this 38 fib and all the way down to the 50 fib. All right, that's the euro, and on the weekly time frame, yeah, you can see lower highs now, and with long wicks on the candles, showing a lot of selling up here. So it could just drift down lower as well. All right, let's move on to the cable. And the cable has also weakened after a bounce from the monthly pivot from 123.40 at the start of the week, and right back up to the 125 range, key round figure 125, and then fell for the last 3 days of the week right back to the monthly pivot, but with a bearish close on the Friday where it could extend further. So for the pound, there's also fears on the second wave of the COVID-19 that could impact not just their economy but worldwide economy, as US is facing resurgence as well. And on top of that, they also have the trade deal post-Brexit with the European Union. So that's weighing down on the pound sterling. And if this support does not hold, then yes, it could drift lower. And if we also move this to shorter term, it has retraced down to 62 fib area, and if it does extend further, it could move further to 78.6 fib retracement at 122.33, and with the swing low is right at 120.75. All right. So on the weekly time frame, yes, it's still very bearish. There's a lot of selling up at the 125 and then close down right at the monthly pivot. Possible extension down further lower. Right, and right where I mark this potential support, that happened to be also the weekly S2. But we'll see what the new pivots are for next week. but the monthly pivot will hold till Tuesday, and then new pivots will be set up on Wednesday, 1st of July. And likewise with the euro, if this continues to drift lower, then it could be forming a new bearish channel as well. So for the meantime, it's still looking weak against the US dollar, and there are no major news for UK this week as well. Alright, let's move on to the Australian dollar. And although it attempted to recover, it did not retrace all the way back down to the start of the week, but then at least half of the week. So on the weekly time frame, there's still strong resistance up at the 0.70 area, and close back down right at the weekly pivot. It's possible that it could drift lower to retest the breakout of the bullish channel, and just at the 0.680 level zone here. If it does break lower, then it could come back down to this swing high that we set up the reversal fib, and there's a confluence with the 55 EMA and the 200 EMA as well, all at 0.6680 area, 75 to 80 area. So that's going to be the key support. There's an intermediate support at the 0.68, and then there's a key resistance still at the 0.70 round figure. There are no major news from Australia this coming week, but there is news from China on Tuesday with their manufacturing PMI figure. So we'll see how China has progressed and whether there's going to be an impact to the Australian dollar. Alright, so do watch out for my other videos on spot gold and dollar yen, and do stay safe and have a good trading week next week, and cheers for now.